After contemplating whether or not to install hydronic heating in the lower portion of the mill, in this episode we bite the bullet, or should we say watermelon, as our floor gets chiseled, leveled, and tubed, making for a complete transformation that will hopefully leave us feeling all warm and fuzzy for many years to come. We can walk in here again. Look at this!
I know, isn't that crazy?
Welcome back to our channel. If you're new around here, we're Brittany and Drew, two hopeful adventurers who got married and after 8 years of van life, found our dream property and moved across the globe to Portugal, where we're now documenting the journey of transforming this historic watermill into our very first home, not on wheels. Now, let's take in a deep breath and let it out. Let the adventure begin. I love seeing the mill out the window now.
It's really lovely. Hey, look at this. Portugal, top country to raise a family.
Oh, that's amazing.
A report has revealed which countries around the world have the best conditions to live abroad with family by assessing various related factors such as childcare costs, the average annual hours worked, and educational attainment.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. Portugal ranked in first place, followed by Sweden in second place and Italy.
Aw, Liu makes me think of our sweet friends.
Yeah, perfect place for them to be raising the kiddos.
And look at this.
Wildcat spotted.
Oh, I spot one on the beach.
Oh,
two.
Two. There we go.
Oh. Always playing. Always playing. Gentle on the strawberries. You exploring the garden with me? You like all the tomato plants? Yes? Our tomatoes are doing amazing out here. Look at the size of this. And look at our beet. They're just like popping out of the ground. What is it? What's in there? And our other tomato plants are doing very well too. Thank you, Kate. So the other day in Portuguese class, our friend Kate gave us these mystery tomato plants. She doesn't know what kind they are. Hopefully they haven't wilted too much here, but we're gonna get them in the ground and hope that they fruit along with their friends here. Remember the no-till garden that we planted? Wow, nice and moist under there actually, but I brought a bucket of water. Put some in there first. I know this is not the ideal time of day or year to be planting, but now is better than never. And don't worry, we'll give them a proper soaking with the hose after. All right, everyone's been staked. All we had to do now was give them a proper soaking nearly every day and hope for the best, which luckily ended up working out. Our tomatoes.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
All right, at least a couple of them in there.
Nice and red. Looks like it's got a little stitch going down all the way.
Heart.
Like a heart.
Beautiful.
I think we should pull this one too.
I love our garden.
I know, it's really nice to have things direct from our earth.
And it's really nice to live close to it, you know? I love being closer.
Nothing like getting your hands in the dirt.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I know it looks a little wrinkly and shriveled, but inside, the passion fruit is just perfect. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. Oh man. We're staying cool in here with the air conditioner, but we realized it was crucial to close the windows to keep in the cool air when this happened.
Houston, we have a problem.
You know how the windows click into place?
3 settings, like this, this, and this. It needs like probably an inch more to go that way. to release and then let it close back in. My only option that I know of is to get the screwdriver and undo both these hinges, and maybe the compression hydraulics will then come back in, and we can never do this ever again. Note to selves. It's a really long screw. There we go. Whoa!
Ooh, yay!
We're back in business.
All right, good job. It's been wonderful being under the shade structure. I do love the greenery out of our window. And look at baby. She loves that spot. The spot in the dirt with the rocks. There is a deck that will be built here, but we're just waiting for the materials to come in. Just when we thought it couldn't get any better. Oh, and then we have Minu there.
So cute amongst the rocks.
Like pillows.
Baby.
I love seeing this floor.
The last time we walked into the mill, all of the plumbing and electrical tubes were covering the floors. But since our last episode, where they poured a thick layer of concrete over all of that in the upper portion of the mill, where we've decided to do cork tiles.
Wow.
Since they make for a nice temperature neutral environment, along with thin electrical floor heating in the bathroom. But this was our first time walking into the mill since the new flooring was dry.
Right there, the drain pipe for the shower floor.
It was crazy to know that so much was now permanently in place. And it was so exciting to see certain spaces look almost livable for the very first time. But there was still a lot of work to be done, especially in the lower portion of the mill where the flooring had yet to be decided on.
Our little piece of paradise. There's a lot of stuff in this room right now because the rest of the house has been cleaned out. Oh, baby. Shari. Shari, baby.
Is she down there?
She was right outside this window.
Oh, hi. Do you want to come in the house? She probably remembers the one time she came in the house and got locked in here because I think the workers didn't know she was in here. Now she's not so sure. Right, baby? Actually, we don't really want her to come in here because otherwise you might have little kitty paw feet on the subfloor. Except...
She'd have to jump over a lot of things.
yeah, that too. I don't think they're pouring the subfloor, right? Because we've complicated things and decided to keep the hot water heated floors in this room.
This area itself is probably about 65, 70 square meters.
Yeah.
But that includes the bathroom area, the kitchen, kind of this middle dining area, and Brittany's yoga area, as well as around the millstone.
And given the fact that like using hot water is a lot more efficient and it would heat this large space and keep it warm, you know, using like the solar panels, or I believe that's how we would heat the water.
Usually they use a heat pump, but sometimes you can use a boiler that's connected to solar panels that heats the water. However, in the wintertime when you want to use the system most, our valley blocks the sun because it's facing a certain way that doesn't allow the sun to really penetrate and get to these solar panels. So we have to either use on-demand propane. I've been watching some DIY videos. DIY? DIY?
DIY.
DIY. But I need the guys to do the hardest part, and that is to get the tubes in the floor before we put the final layer in, get it in that concrete base, because if we just have them seal it like we did the rooms above,
Then we have no option for the
but to
future.
tear it all back out.
Right.
Like,
so we're just doing a pre-installation for heated flooring. So definitely subscribe if you want to see how we do this in the future. But today the guys are returning, and that is what is going down in the ground today. So cheers to that.
the electricians just came over to our camper and asked, hey, we need you to come over to the house. They're here to do a bunch of the wiring. Remember all those white plastic boxes that were installed around the house in various spots for switches, for power outlets? Well, they're pulling all the wire through the house today, and they want to ask me which switches do you want to be dimmable, which ones do you want to control on and off, which zones of lights. A lot of things that we pre-planned, but there's some last minute configurations that they can set up and do. We also did all the ceilings, which we have wires running to the actual spots in the ceilings where all the lights are supposed to be. They want to know how big to cut the drywall, the drop ceilings for each of those spots, because if they cut it really small with just their hole saw, they can't make it bigger unless they are to cut it by hand later on. So it's starting to get to a point where I need some of those things here for when they actually open up the ceilings, make the spots for lights. But it's going to be crazy to see actual switches working in the house soon. I don't think that's going to quite happen today, but it's in the making.
So here we have two zones, yeah?
Yeah, correct.
This one,
Sconce on the wall there, and the sconce right here. But then there's these in the ceiling.
these two together?
Yes. There'll be 1, 2,
ceiling is
3,
1, 2, 3,
4. One around the corner.
Ceiling and...
Yeah, sconce.
What do you call them?
Sconce?
Sconce.
Sconce. What do you call them?
Applique.
Applique?
We use the French word,
Yeah.
applique. Anything dimmable here?
Yes. Actually, both. Let's do both.
Both?
Your best handwriting?
No.
Yeah, so naming all of these switches. So here we're gonna have the dimmable for the ceiling of this room, the on and off for the main light above the sinks, the vent fan, and then the window that will automatically open. Right here will be the one over top the mirrors and the sinks. This cable will go all the way to the ceiling here. That'll be a hanging light, that'll be dimmable. The ventilation fan, and here a switch to be able to open that upper window so we don't have to go and get a ladder. All coming together. Muito coisas this morning. Wow.
Here, the guy on the left is feeding the wire through the tubes that are now under the concreted-in floor, and the guy on the right is pulling them through. So interesting to see how this works.
You can see he's down there feeding the wire in, and they're pulling it all the way through the wall.
You can see the cables coming out now.
Oh, there it is.
Tá bom.
Fish.
Mas tem plus de cinzente.
So right now they're numbering and marking all the wires for where they communicate to. This is the thinking part of the job. And over to here, dimmers that will control lights that go above the bed, as well as a zone for task lighting at this end of the room.
Only the cord coming down.
Okay.
We're gonna have a base cord cover or something.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
cover it. I need to know the diameter.
Because
of the
it's like
cover.
a steel plate. Yeah,
I need to know it because then I need to know where I'm gonna make the hole
yeah. Okay.
and
And
how
then
large
the ability to put the screw up.
and how large it can be.
Now, speaking of lighting and switches, when it came to designing the layout of all of our electrical things, something else that we had to consider was where we wanted to place our security cameras around the mill. And thanks to ArioLink, the sponsor of today's episode, who is redefining the standards for home and business surveillance with their smart security solutions, whether indoors, outdoors, off-grid, with or without Wi-Fi, ArioLink's products make it possible for us to monitor everything on our land. Here we have the industry-leading 4K continuous recording camera. It is the Altus PT Ultra, and it can deliver a 12-hour continuous recording for up to 8 days in a row on a single charge. So I'm gonna charge it right now. And we also have here the solar panel that will become particularly handy if we don't wanna rely solely on the battery charging. But what's incredible is that in order to get a continuous recording, because they decided to use an ultra powerful battery, which has twice the capacity of similar products in the industry, you can achieve continuous recording, which many battery setups just can't. You can also turn on different settings like pre-record, which will enable it to capture moments even before an event happens. It also has color night vision without spotlights and is able to auto track with its pan and tilt blind spot free view. We love that the camera can auto detect between people, vehicles, and animals. That way we can choose to be notified only by motion events that we care about. And the ArioLink app makes it so easy to know what is going on our land, whether we're here or maybe we're out to dinner or we're away for a few days, but we know that we have a set of eyes, camera eyes, watching out for us, our kitties, our home, no matter where we are. It truly gives us peace of mind. No FOMO, no fear of missing out. ArioLink has our back. And if you want to check out the link in our video description below, right now, you can enjoy a launch discount of up to 20% off of the Altis PT Ultra. So a massive thank you to ArioLink for sponsoring this episode. Now, where were we? That day, they removed everything from the lower portion of the mill in preparation for installing the systems for our future hydronic or water-heated floors. And once everything was cleared and out of the way, they began chiseling channels for the electrical wires and tubes to nestle down into. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had the vertical space needed to do the hydronic heating.
Now that the floor is hard up here, all the items in the house have been taken from the lower room and put up here. That way they can make an entire layer across here of cement to smooth out the floor. Need that extra height because that's what's required for the hydronic, the underwater floor heating. They're making all these canals a little bit deeper, chiseling out the floor there, spots like that. See right there, they're making a groove right through the cement there. You see right there, they're gonna make a little canal and chisel that out. It's no easy feat. This floor is very hard. A lot of concrete and granite to cut through. I love it. We're making our own gravel around here. That way we don't have to go and purchase any more rock to fill in around the plumbing parts around the house, these canals. We're just using the materials here on site. Best use of resources possible. You can see they've chiseled a big enough canal all the way through there to fit these highly insulated tubes. And it goes all the way next to the Molino wheel and out through the floor out here, which will have all the extra distance to go up the wall where we'll house the heat pump. Look at this tube, super insulated. That's what's gonna keep us cozy in the winter.
We have Baby grooming herself on Sunset Rock, Tom napping on top of the new cat shack, and there's Minu. She likes that spot. Also, it was so windy the other night that it blew our scaffolding over. And it really more so landed on this. We moved it off, but look at that crack on there. It's so lovely here at this time of day when everything starts cooling off. You hear the crickets. I'm curious what the watermill looks like after.
A hard day's work.
Oh. They dug the canal for what will be a draw for the fireplace. What's crazy is that like there's a hole in the wall. I did not expect that. Strategically, this wall was a lot thinner than this wall, you know? So I guess that made perfect sense. And
Yeah, this one's like maybe 1 meter, 3 feet thick,
Yeah.
and this one's just like 10 inches thick.
And it's perfectly in alignment with the chimney, so I guess our fireplace will go right there.
Exactly.
That's been decided.
So this morning when we were in here, we originally thought the guys would be running tubes by the end of today, but as I should know, things take longer, there's complications. Basically, the floor height has to only come up about 10 centimeters or 4 inches in total, which is a lot. Like, look at the line right there on the stage. They brought up the stage height in all the upper bedrooms quite a bit.
Yeah.
We have to think about what the final floor even above that will be in correlation to the steps. The door frame over here.
That's why they can't pour it and like have it, you know, this is already a pretty small door. For me, it's great, but for anybody else.
We thought about making it a little bit bigger, but the orange bricks on the outside, we don't want to demolish that old charm and look to it.
We love these bricks. There will be a light. That's what that's for. Right
Exactly.
over. Yeah.
To give you guys height reference, that's when I stand fully coming in this door, but I'm just so used to like thinking it's a hobbit hole. And Brittany's.
It's a Brittany door.
Perfect. And so all these tubes where I'm standing right now all have to be tucked into channels in the floor. We did get the original cost for doing the entire system right now, and it was as much as a car. It was very expensive. So for right now, we're just gonna do the pre-installation. And this is the whole system right here that will lay out, and the tubes that will be on the floor will be kind of just between each of these pegs.
Maybe we can do one of these. Wow.
I just heard the cement mixer on. They're wetting the floor over here so that way they can get a good adhesion for the concrete that will be laying on the floor over here. And then they'll fill in all of these gaps, all of the canals, and give us a nice plain surface just like the other rooms. I love how they're able to use a little bit of rebar here. Forza, forza, forza. See, they're making little pillars across the floor here. They just need short ones compared to the other floor. You can see they have to make them a little higher at this end because the entire floor slopes in this direction.
Wow. Well, I did not expect the floor to look like this, but they started laying the tubes for the heated flooring, and this is how they get the tubes to stay in place. Put them in between the Tic Tacs.
Isn't this crazy? Like, we look like we have a blue ocean in our house now.
I know. Makes you think about how crazy it would be to have blue floors.
This system is really cool. It feels so professional. I'm really happy with our decision to go with the heated floors and see what they're doing and how they're insulating it even more, and now starting to run the cables. A lot happened in such a short amount of time.
I mean, they did all this in one day.
Yeah. And so basically the hot and cold water that feeds from the hot water machine that sets the temperature for everything goes to a distributor, and all the zones of this tubing that they're running throughout the sections in the house will all go into like a manifold right here. I saw they got all these materials from packages that came from Spain, because in Portugal it's a little bit difficult to get hold of some of the unique products per se. So all this stuff has been brought over the border, and
it looks really cool.
I really like how the swirlies start in here.
Me too. It's like a little maze.
Yeah, they start going every other line all the way through until they get to the middle here. So what happens is it's like distributing the hot water and cold evenly, rather than if you did one zone. It basically is flowing in and out. So it all has to be planned and calculated the way they're putting it in.
I can't wait to see what this is gonna look like tomorrow. Don't worry guys, we'll definitely get some time lapses up for you of that. If I go up here we have the fireplace air intake that we showed you that they drilled the channel for all the way out to over there.
They had to put so many pieces together to just get it all even in here.
Amazing.
And keep the squares on the line when they add a new piece, because it just can't be like offset.
Yeah, it's a lot more involved than just like putting down some blue floor and running some tubes, right? I do want to point out this area over here. We are not going to be doing heated flooring, and we will not be doing normal tiles over here, because that is the original millstone, which we think is from when the Romans built the mill. So we are very much going to preserve this. It's a piece of history here.
It's like we have a museum in our house, babe.
I know. So we've talked about doing micro cement to fill in this corner to make it even. And right off of that little wheel near Drew, we're actually gonna build a bar stool up and off of it. That's how they used to open and release water, we think. So we didn't want to.
Like this.
Yeah. We didn't want to have them remove it, so we're just gonna make it an added feature and build upon it.
I mean, it's super solid in here.
Yeah.
I wonder if we reefed on this, if we could actually turn it like something.
I don't know, maybe when it's a stool and you're spinning around it, you'll release an ancient flow of water.
After I have my spinach, like Popeye.
Yeah.
I think the guys always like to see if I'm like Santa Claus and I come back into the mill at the end of the night, pick up some things, and they always leave me a cookie.
They do. They always leave us one of whatever we gave them.
Not always, just sometimes, but I'm always grateful and gives me a snack and yeah.
Obrigada.
Dayaku.
This place is gonna be full of squigglies tomorrow.
Wow.
Squiggle, wiggle.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Mill is smoking today. They're making what is going to be the hole coming from the solar heater that will be on the roof for the hot water. And they have to run tubes from the upper laundry room up through that area. They just finished putting in all the tubes in this system and it looks great. You can see the different zones, the curlies, the swirlies. There's a zone back here that does the bathroom in front in the hallway area, a zone that does behind the island back there, as well as this area in the center of the room. They're all controlled and flow into this central distributor. You can see they avoided the area in which the refrigerator will be sitting, the countertop where the oven will be. So cool. They're about to come back through and cover the entire thing with a layer of concrete. That way it'll be a finished floor and we can get the next floor that will be the finished floor on it. So there's been so many layers to this process to make this whole thing happen.
Right there's the spot for the dishwasher, and then the sink connection, probably garbage, maybe a drawer or two. And I just want to point out in here, look at all the tubes in the floor and how they have to run these up the walls, and this will all get coated and covered with concrete. Sorry about the strobe effect. It's a little bit annoying, but I can't control it on the LED spotlight in here. They've done a great job in getting this room completed. They worked on that whole wall today. Yeah, there's the back side of the laundry room, all the tubes coming out. You can see the big exhaust vent, the cable for power going up to the roof that will sense the hot water heater, and then the solar hot water and cold line that both run in and out of the house. This right here is the tube that will be the bathroom ventilation down here below. It's a very warm day today. The kitties look like marshmallows.
Cute little fuzzy marshmallows. And we have a watermelon for the guys.
That looks like a samurai sword in your hands.
Cutting it like I cut an orange. Cut off the hat. Maybe this isn't the right way to do
That's definitely not how you cut a watermelon.
Maybe you should do this.
No, you're doing a great job. Wow, very red.
Wow, it's beautiful.
It's like a tomato.
We have a lot of tomatoes, actually. Like a ton.
I just want to point out how nice the shade is over top the camper down here.
Yeah, this shade is a game changer.
Game changer.
Ah.
Do you remember the newbies when they came and how much their kids love watermelon?
Love watermelon.
Caruso had it all over his face.
Just like watermelon bath. All right, I'm gonna go rinse off in the lagoon real quick.
It smells so good. That is so juicy.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Watch out for crocodiles.
It's been a few days since they poured the cement over the heated flooring. We can walk in here again. Look at this.
I know, isn't that crazy?
We have like real floors. And there's so much underneath here. One of the guys said, I hope you never have to drill through your floors now. And then we were like, that's true. Because there's tubes all up in here, like all curly cute everywhere. So yeah, let's just believe that we'll never have to drill into these floors.
These floors have been smoothed out and leveled according to the door frames, and they are ready for the final material that we choose.
Which will have to be like porcelain or ceramic in here, something that conducts heat well.
It could actually be wood from my understanding from what we've learned.
Ooh, okay. I think we're still gonna stick with cork in the upper bedrooms since that won't have heated floors, but the cork will keep everything pretty temperature neutral. Plus it will help with acoustics for filming.
I'd love to know people's opinion on what they think we should use for the stairs.
Oh,
because
yeah.
we've talked about cement, but the problem with cement is if you hit your toe on them, hit your shin, it really hurts.
But I also want to point out the amazing temporary countertop that Drew built for our island so that we can use it. The guys can use it. We can get a feel for, oh my gosh, I love the height. It's perfect.
It's a really nice height.
It's amazing. Also, some of you suggested that we put a little lip on the edge, which we did, which will help with drips in the future. At least we did with the temporary countertop. But we just want you guys to know that we read your comments. We might not be able to respond to everyone, but we read them and we take them into serious consideration. We're very grateful for all of your tips and ideas and insights. Your comments are very important to us. I guess it wraps up this episode.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what's next. Wow.
Just walk into how big it feels in here now, just with the floors changed. And I want to point out something to you, babe. Look at how they've raised the whole level around the molino. You were pointing this out before.
Yeah, this is gonna be where we build our stool.
Just crazy how much higher all this floor is. Yeah, I mean, look at the height difference there now.
Well, that should be perfect for whatever tiles we put in, apparently.
Thumbs up to our team.
And wish us luck when we take over. It's not happening just yet, but I'm just like, whoa, yeah.
There's a lot of finishing detail in here.
Wanna go for a swim? The perfect ending to a very hot day.
It sure is nice to take in the view from the pool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so serene and peaceful. Full of promise.
Thanks for watching.